What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG and Facebook. People still use Facebook? I don't know. It's Wednesday, so this is a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. It's still our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is our midweek reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men and love black gay men. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. Now, let's get into the episode. Church announcements. By the time you see this, for people who are watching us on YouTube, we are on YouTube on Wednesdays. People who are watching us, you can see that I am in a hotel room. I am in Las Vegas at the Creating Change Conference. We did not stream my sessions, so unfortunately, if you did not attend, you couldn't see how amazing I was on the stage. But I will have some commentary following the conference about, what happened and all the things. I'll make sure I post it on YouTube, on Instagram. So tap in, follow me at JAI the Gentleman on IG, and then you'll be able to get all the updates. The next thing is tomorrow. This podcast will air on the 5th of February. Tomorrow is a very special live show where we are teaming up with the Vision Community Foundation, with the Human Rights Campaign, with the HIV Vaccine Trials Network, and Bishop O.C. Allen to do a special broadcast of Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. We're going to be going live and observing National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. And then I've got a huge announcement that you will not want to miss. So make sure you are tapped in, turn on the notification bell on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, make sure you're locked in, and then we will be going live at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I want everybody to tune in. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a time. And then, of course, by the time this comes out, the banned book club is a thing. We just announced our banned book club pick for this season. It is 100 Boyfriends. So make sure you are locked in. You can join our banned book club broadcast channel on Instagram so you can read the book, get the book, enjoy the book, talk to us about the book, and then we will have the author in the back room at the end of the season. I'm really, really excited about the book club and how it has grown. Last season, we had a really good turnout. This season is going to be even better with this book. It is amazing. I'm so excited. So make sure you are tapped into all the magical things happening with Dear Black Gay Men. Follow me at JAI the Gentleman. Follow the podcast at Dear Black Gay Men on all socials. That has been our church announcements. Please govern thyself accordingly. So I've come to respect and appreciate this broadcast channel that we have on Instagram, on my Instagram called DBGM Fam. And I posted the other week about how long you should be dating or talking before you consider exclusivity. But that brought up a topic that I really do want to talk about. And I had a big aha moment. I learned some things about myself. I realized that I'm not the most secure person in dating. But in order to understand how I got there, I got to give you a little backstory. So go with me for a second. Growing up, I was the insecure little boy, just like so many gay people. Like, I ran funny. I had a high pitched voice. I was skinny, and colorism is a thing because I was a little dark skinned black boy with African parents and African hair. I was called African booty scratcher. My government name is Manyonge. So I was, man, you're gay. Turned out I am really, really gay. But all of that, the remnants of that, show up in the most random ways and places. And I'm realizing that as much as I want to say that I'm healed, as much as I want to say I've gotten over it, I'm different, I'm better, I have overcome. The overcoming process, just like the coming out process, just like self-acceptance and self-awareness, is a ongoing activity. You don't just wake up one day and you're healed. You wake up one day and you are comfortable in the healing process. You don't wake up one day and you're self-aware. You wake up one day and you are comfortable in becoming more self-aware. And so I've had to realize that the remnants of my childhood come up in, I tell people all the time, it's just going to show up in your life wearing a new pair of pants. But it exactly does that. It shows up in my life wearing a brand new pair of pants. There's this guy that I'm interested in, and he comes to there's a place that I go every regularly. I ain't gonna tell you where it is. 'Cause I don't want y'all showing up, but I go there regularly, and he goes there regularly. We're there about the same time, and I have been looking at him for weeks. Weeks. I've been in a heap because it's just something about his energy that lights me up. He walks in, he smiles and speaks to the people, he does all the things. And it's just something about his aura that just makes me smile, like deep inside. And, as outgoing as people think I am, because I have a podcast and I talk to people and I talk about sex all the time, as outgoing as people think I am, I'm really shy and introverted and quiet. And so, the idea of approaching him just is paralyzing. But, I have this New Year's resolution. It's February now, but I have this New Year's resolution of I'm shooting every shot. Like, if I like you, I'm going to tell you. So, of course, I had to like pull on all of my courage. And one day I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, your hair's nice." Isn't that corny? Like, I couldn't open my mouth to be like, "You fine as hell. What's your number? Come and be my husband." Like, I couldn't say what I wanted to say, but the best I had was, "Your hair is nice." I felt like a sixth grader. I felt like a sixth grader processing that now that I'm thinking about it. And so, and every week, every time I saw him, I would say, "Your hair is nice. It don't quit." I was locked into that hair. It just, something about it just, that was the best my courage would allow me to say. And then progressively it went from, "Hey, your hair is nice," to, "You look nice." Not, "You're handsome," but like, you wearing that whatever he had on, he's wearing it well. And my courage would just build up over time until one day I finally said it. Like, now, mind you, this whole time he's been cordial. He has communicated back. He never gave me a sign that he wasn't interested, and he never gave me a sign that I was being inappropriate. He always spoke. I just couldn't get there until one day I finally said, "We should go out." And he looked at me for just a split second, because he was very appropriate, for just a split second. And that split second felt like an eternity. And then he said, "Yeah, we should." So I told y'all I'm shooting shots. That was me shooting my shot. But what I realized in that is the inadequacy that I felt was because I, way back when, know what it means to be rejected. I know what it means to not be good enough. I've been talking about that. Like, last week, I talked about rejection sensitivity on this podcast. But I know what it's like to want something and desire something and not be good enough. And I think a lot of us get hard. A lot of us get either really hard, like we don't want anything and no one can, and mean and abrasive, or we get really soft and timid, like I was, and we lose our courage because the life has just taught us that wanting stuff doesn't turn out well. Life has just taught us that desiring something, like really, really wanting something or someone, doesn't turn out well. They betray us. They stab us in the back. They cheat on us. They make us feel less than. They violate us. Just being the vulnerability of wanting someone. For a lot of Black gay men, I would imagine, just turns out not good. And that's really what I was manifesting for all those weeks. That was the courage that I didn't have, or actually I did have. I just couldn't put on display. That was why I couldn't talk to this man. That was why I couldn't do what I needed to do. It was because all of those lessons in my almost 40 years of living taught me that wanting doesn't turn out well. And I think a lot of us are carrying that. A lot of us have those experiences. We want to fit in when we're in grade school, and that doesn't turn out well. We want to be one of the cool kids. We want to have close friends. We want to be ourselves. We want to feel accepted. And time again, we learn that people don't like us, people don't want us. And then we internalize that to not wanting ourselves, not wanting the best, not desiring the things that we actually do desire. But that's the key, is underneath all of that, the desire is still there. No matter how many times I saw that man, I knew I wanted him. I could have layer on top of that all this stinking thinking about, you know, what he's going to say and how he's going to react and what's going to come of it and how I'm going to feel on the back end. But underneath, the foundation of it is you want that man. And I had to realize that no matter how I dress it up, no matter how I run from it, no matter how I try to sidestep it, no matter how I try to get away from it, I can't get around what is real, what is authentic, what is true to myself. And that is all of our story. No matter how much we try to dress it up with bullshit, the foundation of who we are remains unchanged. And when you peel it all back, for all of us, we all just want to be wanted. We all just want to be accepted. And we all just want to be loved. Every single one of us. And no matter how much you don't want that man to love you, no matter how much you think that you dress it up and say your mama didn't, your daddy didn't, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friends, your ex-friends, your ex-boyfriend, no matter how we dress it up and tell ourselves all this stinking thinking, we are still underneath it all desiring to be wanted. And the gotcha is the courage to pursue those wants. The courage to pursue those desires is equally still in us. That is right next to that is the next stone in the foundation. It's just we've told ourselves that all of the experiences that we've had are going to make this not a good situation. That's what I did. I deluded myself into believing that every time somebody said, "Man, you're gay," every time somebody said you run funny, every time somebody said you're not my type, you're too femme, too short, too thick, too black, too dark, too whatever, is going to come up here. And so now I'm weeks into attraction to somebody and I've only been on one date. I wasted so much time because I was scared. And so that brings me back to my initial question of like, how long do you date somebody? Because the irony of it is we've been dating. He and I have been connected for X number of days, weeks, months. But in my head, I've been dating him for like, months longer than that. It is just weird, now this really is me being delusional. So I'm like, when we start thinking about like taking it to the next step, am I counting all them days where I was just looking at you with the googly eyes? Y'all are going to rip me a new one in the comments. But that's the tremendous lesson is we end up wasting so much time of our lives dealing with the bullshit. Dealing with the armor, dealing with the fluff, dealing with the stinking thing we've created about how life is and what life could do and who we could end up with, which is really just unprocessed trauma. We get stuck in that, forgetting that the foundation, the who we are underneath it all is strong, is resilient, is courageous, is vulnerable, is amazing, is dope. And if we just would tap into him faster, then I think all of our problems will be over. Yeah, some people are not going to be able to appreciate who you are without the fluff. Some people are not going to be able to see who you are authentically. Some people ain't going to appreciate it. Some people ain't going to respect it. Some people they're not going to vibe with it. Some people aren't, but you are. Because you don't have to have the task of carrying around the fluff anymore, carrying around the bullshit. When we heal from trauma, when we heal from past experiences, when we heal from all those things, all we're doing is letting them fall so that we can do everything else. Luckily enough, this person, who I will not name yet, we're still trucking along. He was looking at me for most of the time that I was looking at him, and so we're attempting to do something, and I'm excited about it. But I probably will not be talking about him anymore until it becomes official. But we'd be so much farther along if I tapped into my healing faster. So, dear Black gay men, heal, motherfucker. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. If this episode made you feel a little more dope, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the video, and share it with someone who needs a dopeness reminder. The podcast is new every Wednesday, and new uploads to YouTube channel happen every day. So follow at Dear Black Gay Men on social so you never miss a thing. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men Podcast, and I promise next time I will read directly to the camera. I will talk to you next time. Bye.